On the news tonight, Presidency clarifies alleged leadership vacuum, says President and his vice are fully engaged with national affairs. Senators pass a vote of confidence on Senate President Godswill Akpabio amidst impeachment rumor. Lagos State House of Assembly holds public hearing on Local Government Administration Bill 2024 to optimize local governance. On the foreign scene, early voting begins in swing state North Carolina weeks after deadly Hurricane Helene. We'll bring you details in a moment. We thank you for joining us. I am Tinuke Oloruntoyin Folami. The presidency has clarified that there is no leadership vacuum in Nigeria, noting that the president and the vice president are fully engaged with the affairs of the nation, despite being out of the country at the moment. The special advisor to the president on information and strategy, Bayo Ononuga, stated this in response to inquiries about the leadership of the country. He adds that state organs are functioning as usual, reaffirming that the Senate President, the Secretary to the Government of the Federation, ministers, and service chiefs are in their respective positions, ensuring the smooth operation of the government. The presidential aide adds that the Nigerian constitution does not explicitly require the physical presence of either the president or the vice president in the country at all times to fulfill their duties. Senators have passed a vote of confidence on the Senate President Godswill Akpabio and other leadership of the 10th Senate Assembly. The vote of confidence on Akpabio comes on the heels of reports that his colleagues planned to impeach him. The unanimous resolution came under a matter of privilege raised by Senator Yahya Abdullahi, representing Kebbi North. Recall that some online media platforms had speculated that the presidency had drafted a large number of operatives of the Department of State Services into the National Assembly complex to stop senators from performing their constitutional responsibilities, including a plot to remove Akpabio as the Senate President. Akpabio had denied the report, saying the Red Chamber remains united. The presidency, in a statement, said there were no impeachment threats in the Senate. The 4 tax reform bills recently presented to the National Assembly are aimed at harmonizing all tax laws in the country and not to increase or introduce new taxes into the nation's tax books. Chairman of the Federal Inland Revenue Service, Zach Adedeji, made this clarification in Abuja while at a meeting with the House of Representatives Committee on Finance ahead of the second reading of the bills. He further explains that the tax reform bills was not aimed at merging any government agency, emphasizing that it will not lead to any loss of jobs.
Is to harmonize all tax laws that we have in the country and put it in one book. And what is the objective? Objective is simple. It means, first of all the multiplicity of these taxes will reduce because you now have them in one book, not in different tax books as we have it today. The purpose by which Mr. President has sent this bill is to match what we are doing with what Mr. President wants us to be called.
Chairman of the House Committee on Finance, James Abiodun Faleke, APC Lagos, says the aim of the meeting is to give members a first-hand information on the necessity of the bills and allow for informed contribution at the second reading.
These bills involve not intended or has no portion for increase of any tax. Neither is it detrimental to the existing system. It is aimed to harmonize and make it easy. For example, if an investor is coming to invest in Nigeria, you can go through any of these four books, four laws when passed, and see the areas of his responsibility rather than going through multiple laws.
Recall that on October 3rd this year, the Speaker, House of Representatives, Tajuddin Abbas, had read at plenary a letter from President Bola Tinubu notifying the National Assembly of his proposed 4 tax reform bills that will be submitted for consideration and swift passage. Now, the Defense Headquarters has pledged the commitment of the nation's armed forces towards ensuring adequate safety of educational institutions in the country, as quality learning is pivotal to stabilizing the society. Chief of Defense Staff General Christopher Musa made this pledge in Abuja while on a courtesy visit to the Executive Secretary of Tertiary Education Trust Fund, TET Fund. The CDS says education is the only way through which a society can grow, and most challenges the country faces today is as a result of illiteracy, while assuring that the kinetic and non-kinetic ways of combating insecurity must go hand in hand.
Kinetic being what we do using force, but we've realized that with the current challenges we're having, the kinetic cannot do it alone. It only provides 20-25% of the solution. Most of the solution comes from the non-kinetic, and education plays a very vital role in that. And that's why we know you are very, very important to what is going on the ground. And the assistance you have, the support you have been given to the educational ministry, educational system has actually made a lot. It will have been worse.
The Executive Secretary of TET Fund, Sonny Echonu, expresses gratitude to the Nigerian military for its commitment on security across the theaters of operation in the country. He also hinted that TET Fund will be organizing a national research fair where Nigerians who have been able to create and develop technologies will be invited to showcase their innovations to the world.
The right personnel to deliver if only we can encourage them, especially in cutting-edge research, not only for kinetic purposes in what they use in terms of armaments and equipment and platforms, but also in solving other societal problems. And that is why for this meeting we included some members of our national research team to inform you that we've done the correspondence. We will be organizing a national research fair.
The Executive Secretary pledged TET Fund support to the military as it looks forward to more collaborations. Here in Lagos, the House of Assembly Committee on Local Government Administration, Chieftaincy Affairs and Rural Development is once again in the Ikorodu division in continuation of its official visit to the remaining 4 councils. Olatunde Yusuf reports that this visitation is part of the oversight functions of the Lagos State House of Assembly. Her report.
This time, the committee visited Ikorodu local government, Ikorodu North, Ijede and Imota LCDA to assess the progress of development in the councils. Led by Honorable Ganiu Soni, the committee was welcomed by the council chairmen in their respective councils. Aimed at evaluating the council's efforts in grassroots governance and development, the oversight visits gave the council leadership the opportunity to also give account of stewardship to the committee.
We also decided to train our youth in so many areas and to also empower them. We built an ICT center in Telewa.
ICT center?
Yes.
Is it functional?
It's about to be commissioned, sir.
In Ikorodu North LCDA, Builder Adebisi Banjo presented a detailed overview of his administration's accomplishments since his re-election in 2021, with a range of transformative projects in education, security, infrastructure, healthcare, youth and women empowerment. In his remarks, the chairman of the committee, Honorable Ganiu Soni, praised the vibrant atmosphere in Ikorodu North LCDA and commended Builder Banjo for fostering a progressive environment.
He has tried his best possible to add value to governance. You can see it is crystal clear. This is the legislative chamber. This is the headquarters. You can see the ambience, how cozy it is. That speaks to productivity. When you have a good working environment, you become more and more productive. And there are roads, a couple of other projects like health centers, schools. All of this goes to show that he has performed and he has impacted the life of the people in the realm of human capital development. He has done his best.
I'm also impressed with the security outfit I saw here. It's one of the things we're also saying, that all local governments and LCDs should get prepared for the state police. And I see that Ikorodu North is also getting set, and they are also looking ahead. But like the chairman has rightly said, we also need to encourage them to do more so especially in the area of sports, also in the area of infrastructural development. People are still yearning for more, and we still encourage them to do more.
They have been very good ambassador, and they encourage us, and they have been on our neck to make sure that we do the needful.
The committee continued its tour to Ikorodu local government, Imota and Ijede LCDA, with the council leadership updating committee on activities and achievements. In response, the committee gave thorough assessment, advising on areas of improvements. They urged the councils to prioritize high city development, offer more comprehensive health initiatives, and provide startup capitals for beneficiaries of empowerment programs. Olatudo Yusuf, LTV News.
Still on assembly matters, the Lagos State House of Assembly has held a public hearing on Local Government Administration Bill 2024. The public hearing is an opportunity for key players to give input on the proposed law. Again, Olatudo Yusuf reports.
This bill seeks for a law to provide local government system and establishments for the purpose of consolidating all laws on local government administration and connected purposes.
The bill has elaborated upon all the needs to be done for an effective administration of the local government.
The proposed bill is to provide a much needed legal framework aimed at ensuring that our local government provides an efficient and effective service delivery at the grassroots level to the Gosheners.
A bill of 60 clauses was presented to the public, stating functions of local government, council chairman, election, dissolution, tenure, and more.
Clause 2 reiterates the provisions of Section 7 of the 1999 Constitution of the Federal Republic of Nigeria as altered, which provides for democratically elected local government systems. Clause 3 provides for the establishment of 20 local government areas in the state as recognized by the Constitution.
Stakeholders at this meeting took turns to speak on the bill, with many applauding the Lagos State House of Assembly for being proactive, while also suggesting areas of amendments.
The 37 local government development area has to be taken care of with this autonomy. The autonomy cannot take all the responsibility. The Lagos State government has to have a way of assisting, to have some percentage that they will use to assist the local government.
We agree with what the State House of Assembly is doing. We strongly believe that they are doing excellently well in ensuring Lagos State remaining the #1 state in Lagos. But as far as the issue under discourse is concerned, we making a passionate appeal to them that they should take a second and deeper look into it, and they should come in tandem with the reality that the present structure on ground is a perfect structure. We should channel all our energy and resources into ensuring that the 37 are listed.
Responding to concerns raised, the Chairman House Committee on Local Government Administration, Chieftaincy Affairs and Rural Development assured that all areas mentioned will be looked into.
It was well critiqued, and we got opinions of people, stakeholders, and all of this we are going to bring together, harmonize it to make the law at the end of the day very, very rich.
This public hearing is part of process required where public opinions is heard and considered before the bill becomes law. Olatudo Yusuf, LTV News.
Tech experts have stressed the need to tackle challenges facing the adoption of artificial intelligence technologies in Nigeria, arising from lack of structured data ecosystem that factors Nigeria's peculiarities and values data set. Speaking at a stakeholders forum on harnessing the full potential of Nigeria's tech space, speakers recommend a regulatory framework that will ensure AI development and reflect African cultural values and ethical principles. We have details in Adekola Hastrop's report.
The rapid rise in AI advanced technologies, including data processing, autonomous systems, and predictive analytics, offer endless possibilities for the Western world, leveraging on full potential of these technologies and transforming constraints into opportunities, which remains a challenge for Nigeria and Africa as a whole. This gathering of government functionaries, the academia, and technology innovators is to advance conversations on using AI solutions in solving complex socioeconomic challenges, as it offers unparalleled capabilities to design innovative strategies and sustainable economic development.
AI has been identified as a critical driver for sustainable economic growth. We have prioritized AI in our national digital transformation agenda, aligning with global best practices while creating a homegrown ecosystem capable of addressing Nigeria's unique challenges.
When you talk about basis of life, we talk about food, shelter, and clothing. Honestly, information is also basis of life, and you can only get information with IT technology.
I mean, education is key to being able to build sustainable solutions tailored to the needs of Africa. I always say one thing, the problem of Africa can only be solved by Africans.
Other speakers are on building a digital transformative system that is not only sustainable but also inclusive in driving growth, reducing poverty, and ensuring prosperity.
We need to ensure that users use it ethically, use that technology ethically, so that we can benefit from if you like, the gains of technology, and then minimize. You may not be able to completely take it out, but then minimize on the downside of it.
There is a gap of information from the African landscape online. So it's time for us to feed our data. Write good things about ourselves is beyond just talking about what the issues in Africa are. We have to be very, very intentional about putting our information online. And what does this require? For us to think deeply, we have to do like reverse engineering, thinking about how we can ensure that we are online, is the right things that are there.
Data is now the new currency. And if you can harness that currency, it's essentially the new oil. So, I feel like that is where the employability opportunities come for young people when it comes to AI, creating data sets and even selling those data sets, putting them together for other people to use.
The event with the theme addressing continental challenges and driving sustainable innovation is to foster innovation, enhance business efficiency, and drive economic growth across Africa.
Still ahead. Nigeria takes delivery of first batch of 846,000 doses of R21 malaria vaccines from Gavi to combat malaria. That's in a moment. We thank you for staying tuned. Nigeria has received the first batch of 846,000 doses of the R21 malaria vaccines from Gavi, the Vaccine Alliance. Minister of Health, Ali Pati, described the arrival of the vaccines as a significant milestone in the government's effort to eliminate malaria in the country. The minister said the vaccines would first be distributed to states with the highest burden of the disease, particularly Kebbi and Bayelsa, and would serve as a complement to other treatments for malaria. He adds that the vaccine has proven to be safe and efficient for malaria treatment. The Director General of the National Primary Healthcare Development Agency, Muyi Aino, says an enforcement team will be set up by the agency, and the date and location for the administration of the vaccines will be communicated in due course. It said about 140,000 doses are expected in the coming month, noting that the target is to make available 1 million vaccines for the first batch. Now, the federal government, through the Nigeria Hydrological Services Agency, has advised Nigerians living around riverbanks along the River Benue Basin to quickly move to safer grounds. Director General of the agency, Umar Mohammed, warns that water on the River Benue has reached the flooding level due to increased rainfall, urging those along the River Niger to move to a safe location as the management of Kainji and Jeba dams are working to control the flood waters. Mohammed urges Nigerians to cooperate with the emergency management agencies to build resilience against flooding in the country and minimize the effects of flood. Recall that the federal government recently warned Nigerians to relocate to safe grounds after the release of water from the Lagdo Dam in Cameroon. This followed the release of water from the overflowing Alau Dam, which killed over 30 persons and swept away thousands of homes in Maiduguri, the capital city of Borno State. Members of the Association of Retired Heads of Service and Permanent Secretaries have been advised to be at the forefront of governance to offer their wealth of experience in nation building. This was the consensus at the 8th Quarterly General Meeting of Southwest Association of Retired Heads of Service and Permanent Secretaries held in Lagos. Ayola Adilisi tells us more.
Civil servants in the Southwest region played crucial roles in laying the foundation for development and progress. As a result of their efforts and work, there have been considerable growth in several areas of service delivery like healthcare, infrastructure, governance, and education. To this end, the Quarterly General Meeting of Southwest Association of Retired Heads of Service and Permanent Secretary is to deliberate on ways to continually support the government in achieving set goals.
With the Lagos State experience, I have no modicum of doubt that your wealth of knowledge and insights are priceless as we navigate the path towards a public service ecosystem that sets a standard for excellence across Nigeria.
As partners, as stakeholders, they should not stay at the rear. They should be at the forefront as consultants, as a guide to policy formulation and implementation, so that we could have a smooth run of governance in the state. Most importantly, across the region, we discovered that the tentacles across the region are not only restricted to Lagos State.
President, Association of Retired Heads of Service and Permanent Secretaries, Nuruddin Ojora Adejiyan, speaks on the essence of the 8th Quarterly General Meeting held in Lagos.
It's our intention with this meeting to collaborate with our Southwest partners to make sure that issue of food, security, and nutrient feeding is enhanced. Like we mentioned, Lagos State has money, but our colleagues from the other part of the region, they have a lot of arable land to plant, to make sure food is secured. So we needed to collaborate together to make sure all what we have, our own resources, their own resources, is put together to enhance this.
The Southwest region, enriched in history and full of economic life today, owes much of its development to the civil servants who have contributed immensely to erecting structures of public governance within the context of the ethnics of Omoluabi Yoruba philosophy. Ayola Adelesi, LTV News.
Members of the Advocacy for Social Justice and Ethical Values Initiative have called on Nigerians to embrace academic integrity as it enriches, strengthens, and builds a better community based on the fundamental values of honesty, trust, and fairness. This message was conveyed at a press briefing organized in collaboration with the Lagos State Public Service Staff Development Center to mark Global Ethics Day.
discover, strengthen communities, and help build a better world with the fundamental values of honesty, trust, fairness, respect, responsibility, and courage.
What are we doing to give back to society? What value are we adding? Because precept by precept, step by step, bit by bit, and the story of success will begin to emerge. Little drops make a mighty ocean.
Key players encourage Nigerians to uphold high ethical standards in all spheres while urging the federal government to implement policies that will promote social development.
Support the child to achieve his or her aim in life. Whatever career he or she chooses, the parents or guardians must allow and support both financially and emotionally. When there are problems in his education or education, they must be there for him or her and make sure that he does not derail. He or she does not derail.
To promote high ethical standards, the ball is in our court. There must be leadership by example. There must be a system of rewards and sanctions. And we are not looking at anybody's face. We deal with ourselves if we want a change in our youth now. Because our youth have a different mindset. The mentality is sad. But we are talking of a new thing called metanoia. Your mindset must change through leadership, must change, and it will come down to the school level, and everybody will know, okay, you have been rewarded because you have done what is right. Everybody agrees. You have been punished because you have done what is wrong.
The way to go is for the leaders to show the example and the followers to follow the example, and then we build a better community, and right from the family, the community, the state, and of course, we'll be able to empower to the level of even having economic growth.
The theme for this year's Global Ethics Day, Ethics Empowered, highlights the importance of maintaining moral principles in both individual and collective actions for a sustainable future. The Nigerian Association of the Blind, Ikorodu Division, has joined the blind community to commemorate International White Cane Safety Day. On a long walk for safety, members of the association emphasized their commitment to promoting awareness, seeking support for the rights and needs of the visually impaired. Ikorodu Bureau Chief Adeshegun Igop reports.
In building awareness around the white cane and to mark the International White Cane and Safety Day, the Nigerian Association of the Blind, Ikorodu Division, embarked on a long walk for safety. The organizers say it inspires hope and underscores the need for continued advocacy to educate the public about the white cane.
The importance of the work is to celebrate the life of persons living with visual impairment or that are blind all over the world.
As visual impaired person, you're not supposed to stay at home. Come out, learn something. If you want to go back to school, you can go back to school. If you want to go into trade, you can go into trade. Don't keep your children or your ward inside the house. So that is the significance of the awareness work.
They maintain that white cane is more than just a mobility tool. It is a symbol of independence, allowing blind and partially sighted individuals to navigate confidently.
We are calling on people generally, the entire citizens of Lagos State and that of Nigeria, that when they see a blind person with white cane or cane of another color, it's not a symbol of alms begging, and it's not a symbol of blindness per se, but is a symbol of safe and independent movement.
What we are trying to achieve as an organization is to bring out people who are blind, who are in their houses not knowing what to do. They come to the organization, we tell them where to go, teach them how to use their phone, give them this white cane, or what we call the guide cane, and then teach them also how to use the computer, and then they will be able to fit into the society and also go back to school.
The group emphasized the need for accessible resources and training. They called for government action on rights of the visually impaired.
Government should include us as they give us inclusion. They should let us create the laws with us, not for us. They should let us speak. They should not discriminate us, and even the society at large. When they see a person with a guy cane, they can see how it is. They come to our rescue, they come to our aid.
We want government to support us, Like, example, BRT, sometimes they carry us for free. We want more than that. If they can help us with earth, if they can help us in our businesses, maybe loan to grant to us so we can move forward in our businesses.
The long walk for safety of the visually impaired kicked from Benston bus stop on Ikorodu Road through Ikorodu main roundabout and climaxed at the main gates of the Lagos State University of Science and Technology, Lasuste. Adeshegun Igop, LTV News.
Nigerians, especially caterers, have been advised to embrace home gardening to reduce hunger in the country. Some food nutritionists at an event to mark the year 2024 World Food Day also emphasized the need to accept naturally planted foods over genetically modified organism foods. Maugwe Josu reports.
Here are members of Association of Hospital Caterers of Nigeria, Lagos State Chapter. They are gathered to commemorate the year 2024 World Food Day with sensitization on reducing hunger in the country through embracing home gardening.
Home gardening is very necessary. That the scarcity of food cannot be overemphasized. The securities aspect of it is very, very important because in the farms now, people cannot get to the farms because there's insecurities in the lands. And people are now being advised to get any place they have in their own places to organize a garden farming. And this garden farming can start by using your own sack in your own garden and provide some seeds. When you are doing your own home gardens, you'll be able to monitor the kind of food you are growing and it will be healthy for consumption.
There is no seed that you cannot plant in bag. Starting from yams, you can plant yams in bag. You can plant beans. You can plant tomato, can plant fruits, jute fruits, that's a wedu.
While highlighting the pros and cons of genetically modified organism crops, these nutritionists identify soils that are good for mini farming.
You cannot take their seed and go and produce yourselves. When you cultivate the GMO farms, after your product, you need to go back to whoever gave you the seeds. The rate this GMO is going now, you see them so fine, so big, they get so rotten earlier, they got so rotten quickly, they got so bad quickly. Just like our main products, when you have them, you can keep them and they can stay for a long period. The GMO food, you can only take it now and eat it immediately.
The soil you use is the one we call humus soil. Then Yoruba people call it dagbolu, the black soil. Do you understand? That's the best soil for planting. We have always been having GMO foods. Do you understand me? The only problem we have now is the one that is adulterated. The newly imported ones now are the ones that are giving us problem.
With a theme, Rights to Food for a Better Life and Better Future, the association held a cooking competition for its members to showcase good hygiene. Maugbe Josu, LTV News.
Home gardens are believed to provide a number of benefits to families and the environment. With the right tools and proper know-how, you can easily learn the gardening basics needed to turn your home into a thriving plant paradise. In this special report, our environment correspondent, Bukola Taylor-Cole, takes a look at the concept of eco-gardening and how it can be created no matter how big or small your home is. Here's Bukola's report.
In the 70s, so many people will have different kinds of spaces. Sometimes we say, oh, it's too small. Even me, I felt, oh, I've cemented all my walls and my ground and I don't have space. But when I looked at it, I said, oh, so I could plant a banana in a bowl. They said, yes. So you could plant lemon tree in a container. So container farming. and then we did yam in a container as well. So that gave me the strength to carry on.
The concept of eco-garden is to repurpose and recycle waste materials into something beautiful and more valuable than its original state. Having an eco-garden in your home has several benefits.
The eco-garden is a pharmacy. Almost every disease, you can use the leaves from any of these plants, even to nurse the plants themselves. You get to choose what you want to plant in your eco-garden. So like me, I'm choosing to plant what I can eat and what is of economic value that does the body well. Cancer-free life. Even that I'm now planting things that when mosquitoes smell them, they will move, like lemongrass, like a lemon tree, like rosemary plants, snake plants, and spider plants. Mosquitoes don't like them. So as we're planting them all around, we are finding that we're having less mosquitoes.
To fertilize the plants, waste from the kitchen are turned into valuable organic matters.
This is a compost tumbler. It's Nigerian made. From what you can see, this is a common chemical container. So basically, all the cuttings from the garden, we put it inside with a bit of moisture and sand. And of course, you know, in sand we have earthworm. The earthworm will eat on it, biodegrade it under heat. So of course, because of rain, we cover it. So even if there is water inside it, the water is almost like liquid fertilizer. We get the water out and use it to feed our plants. So at the end of the day, this becomes sand after like 3 months, and we use it to plant other things. It is a time for us to invest in nature. It's a time for us to invest in the planet. If there is no planet, then there is no us.
Climate change is the single biggest threat facing humanity. To deal with it, we must be intentional and deliberate. So no matter how small your space is, you can create an eco-garden just like this. And together, we will preserve the environment for generations to come. From Bagada Phase 2, I am Bukola Taylor Cole, reporting for Lagos Television News.
Thank you, Bukola. Coming up, Nigeria exits global watch list as aviation rating rises to 75.5%. That's on Business News. Stay with us. On Business News tonight, the Minister of Aviation and Aerospace Development, Festus Keyamo, says Nigeria has been removed from watch list globally as its global aviation rating has again risen to 75.5%. The minister disclosed this during the commissioning of Juhi 2 Aviation Fuel Depot at the Murtala Muhammad International Airport, Lagos. Keyamo hinted that with Nigeria's removal from the watch list, airlines can now access dry lease aircraft. Recall that last month, after the signing of the Cape Town Convention Practice Direction by the federal government, it shot up the country's image from 49% to 70.5% by the global aviation sector. The minister assures that there would be more aircrafts in Nigeria, and Juhi 2 Aviation Fuel may need to increase its capacity to cater for the influx of aircraft into the country. The Minister of State for Petroleum Resources, Heineken Lupobiri, has announced that the local upgrade of the FPSO Tamara Nanaye, a floating production, storage and offloading vessel in Apapa, Lagos, will boost the country's oil production. The minister emphasizes that the upgrade of the FPSO Tamara Nanaye is the first of its kind in Nigeria's history and second in Africa, involving local modifications. During his inspection visit at the vessel's ongoing modifications, Lopobiri praises the Nigerian National Petroleum Company Limited (NNPCL) and its partners for their contributions. The upgrade is expected to increase Nigeria's production output by 40,000 barrels of oil per day and 50 million cubic feet of gas. The FPSO Tamara Nanaye is scheduled to be deployed to the Kalakule field in OML 7172 after its modifications are complete. The Nigeria Customs Service has raised alarm over increased arms import and export of wildlife as it declares an emergency on pharmaceuticals and medications. Comptroller General of the service, Adeniyi Adewale, says the agency has resolved to protect Nigeria's borders and economic interests. Adewale added that the service has adopted a fresh approach in fulfilling its mandate of balancing revenue collection, facilitating trade, and ensuring compliance with relevant laws. He explains that since 2018, the NCS has intercepted 20 significant shipments comprising 10,498 pieces of various arms and 114,929 pieces of ammunition with an estimated duty paid value DPV of 9.58 billion naira. The controller assured that the service remains committed to collaborating with domestic and international partners to combat wildlife trafficking and bring perpetrators to justice. We now leave you with tradings on the floor of the Nigerian Stock Exchange. The Lagos State government, through the Lagos State Sports Commission, is set to organize a maiden individual boxing club championship from October 21 to 27. Boxers from different parts of the state will converge for the 7-day tournament designed to unearth more talent and encourage clubs' participation as an outlet for pugilists to intensify preparations for the national championship. The competition will feature male and female boxers, with the clubs registering a boxer per weight category for 13 males and 12 females event. The concept of the Lagos State Individual Club Boxing Championship is to encourage clubs across the state and empower the youth through sports. The week-long championships will be a knockout format where defeated boxers exit automatically. Winners in different weight categories will proceed to the next phase under the supervision of the state referees and judges. The championship is primarily designed to discover budding talent and promote inclusiveness through engagement of talented athletes at the grassroots level. The forthcoming championships will be staged in the 5 divisions of the state, with the pilot edition holding at the Bishop Agay Senior Secondary School, Mushin. Starting the championships in Mushin is due to the high concentration of boxers in the area, and Ajegunle will be the next venue. The championship has come to see the light of day through the relentless effort of the Lagos State Sports Commission under the leadership of the Director General, Lekan Fatudu. Referees, judges and officials from the state will be engaged for the period of the championship to ensure fair and standard officiating. President of the International Table Tennis Federation has pledged the ITTF's unwavering support to the newly elected Executive Council of the African Table Tennis Federation as they strive to grow the sport across the continent. Petra Solin made this commitment during the elective annual general meeting of the ATTF held during the week at the Economic Commission for African headquarters in Addis Ababa, Ethiopia. Solin, a special guest at the AGM, praised Africa's abundant talent and emphasized the importance of nurturing these talents to achieve greatness. She commended the outgoing ATTF president Khalid El Saleh for his significant contributions to the sport during his tenure. She also highlighted the dedication of the new leadership, particularly Wahid Eni-Toshodi and Dr. Ala Meshref, both esteemed members of the ITTF Executive Committee. Solin expressed her pride in their efforts and reaffirmed ITTF's commitment to supporting African table tennis.
Leadership that you have elected. So with that, I'd like to congratulate Wahid. Wahid said here, my dear friend, that Khalid was very hardworking, and I know Khalid has been working since '96 in this body, which is very, very, very long, and with big respect. One of the first I met actually from Africa when I came out as a new one elected in ETU at that time. But I also know that my dear fellows here, both Wahid and Dr. Allah, is very hardworking in the board of ITTF. So you should also be very proud of the work that you are doing there. They are the most hardworking, I would say, of my vice president.
The newly elected ATTF president, Wahid Ushodi, who is also an executive vice president of the ITTF, called on the private sector to support table tennis on the continent.
We'll be getting the help we need from ITTF and from the private sector. What has lacked in table tennis in Africa is the support from the corporate world, and I believe we have the talent on this team to get the corporate world on board. Funding, increase in funding will help us develop these players, and that's where we headed.
The Nigerian, who was unanimously elected as the 6th president of the body, emphasized the importance of unity among member associations to achieve more for the continent. From the international scene comes the report that early voting has begun in North Carolina, a critical swing state won by Donald Trump in 2020, which both campaigns are targeting this time. This comes weeks after Hurricane Helene's devastating effect, which killed over 200 people, around 100 of them in North Carolina, where dozens remain missing. Last night, Donald Trump described January 6, 2021, where his supporters rioted at the U.S. Capitol building, as a day of love. He was addressing an audience of Latino voters who could prove crucial in this race. Earlier, Kamala Harris said her presidency would be different to Joe Biden's leadership style. National polling data suggests Harris has a slight lead over Trump, but it's neck and neck in crucial swing states. Let's take a look at tomorrow's weather forecast. Just before we go, a recap of our top stories. The presidency has clarified the alleged leadership vacuum, maintaining that both president and the vice president are fully engaged with national affairs. Senators have passed a vote of confidence on Senate President Godswill Akpabio amidst impeachment rumor on social media. The Lagos State House of Assembly has held a public hearing on Local Government Administration Bill 2024 to optimize local governance. On the foreign scene, we told you early voting has commenced in swing state North Carolina, weeks after deadly Hurricane Helen killed 200. For more news, connect with Lagos Television on these social media platforms. Just before we go, here are some thoughts. Positive thinking will let you do everything better than negative thinking ever will. Stay positive. In case of emergencies, please call 767 or 112. They are toll-free lines. We thank you for watching. Have a fantastic night rest. I am Tinuke Oloruntoyin Folami.